www.clintdarden.com, and of course the House of Biceps. I'm here at the House of Biceps answering your questions. I had a really interesting question come in this week. I wanted to go ahead and get it answered as quickly as I could to get this information out to the individual. I think with a lot of contests coming up in the strongman area, this could be a very legit question all the way around. And maybe it could help more than just this individual. All right, so this individual sends me an email and he lets me know that he's 6 weeks out from his next strongman competition. Basically, he says that he has gone toxic. Now, gone toxic is kind of a phrase that's gone around for, we'll say at least 10 years. Basically, people will say once they've taken a certain amount of gear, of anabolics, usually anytime somebody gets sick or does anything, anytime anything goes wrong with anybody that's using anabolics, everyone says, oh man, he went toxic. That's toxic. His body went toxic. Like that has some sort of technical term to it or something. It's a completely made up term, but we all know what it means. Now your body hasn't somehow become toxic and sick and whatnot, but since you asked what I would do, then I'm going to tell you what I would do if I was in your situation 6 weeks out from a major show and I had gone toxic. All right, now you are on 4 different chemicals, anabolic, androgenic, performance enhancing chemicals. Currently 6 weeks out, you are looking at adding in 1 or 2 more things the last couple of weeks as extra enhancers. Obviously those can either go great or absolutely horrible if you are already feeling like you've gone toxic. So if I found that I was 6 weeks out and I had gone toxic, the first thing I would do is I would go get IV fluids. I would look to get somewhere around 2 to 2.5 liters immediately of IV fluids over a 24-hour period, not in one run. For most people, somewhere around 2.5 to 3.5 liters is the absolute most you're going to run before it becomes dangerous to your health. One of the things you could be looking at if you're feeling bad and you're using several different anabolic compounds, your hematocrit levels could be really, really high. Now, a lot of people will say, well, anabolics raise your hematocrit level. True, but another thing to consider is that any kind of dehydration throws that number off, let's say 10 to 15%. If you are dehydrated and you're a big person, if you're a big person, you're always a little dehydrated. If you're exercising, you're going to be a little more dehydrated. The point of exercising, you're going to be even more dehydrated. You have marathon runners, cyclists die of heart attacks. My theory is all tied in with the hematocrit levels and dehydration. People have seen 15% difference in their hematocrit levels just from dehydration and exercise. They've gone home after exercising with hematocrit levels 15% higher than it was before exercise. And once the blood gets so thick, that's when you're looking at heart attacks and stroke. So you could be feeling absolutely terrible, and it could have something greatly to do with dehydration. So getting properly hydrated would be the first thing on my list, and I would make sure, you're asking if it was me, I would get 1.5 to 2 liters of IV fluids 3 times a week until I felt better, which if I'm only 6 weeks out, I'm probably going to get a permanent port put in and leave it in from then until the contest, and I'm going to run fluids as needed. You did ask what I would do, right? Next stop on the gone toxic train, I would stop everything for a week. Absolutely everything. Minimum 7 days, probably closer to 10. 14 would not be terrible. I know your hormone levels are going to go down. This is all the just in case type stuff. If you continue on the train, the toxic train that you're on right now, things are only going to get worse. Your appetite is going to decrease. You're going to continue to feel worse. You're going to have a bad meet. And even on top of that, worse on top of that, you could actually die. Think about that. Really? So I would stop everything 7 to 14 days, absolutely nothing. I would go and buy a gel, the Testosterone Gel. We have the gel here. It's easy to get. Actually, it's not easy to get. It's easy to get. It's not cheap. But I would use it every night before going to bed and probably an hour or two before training. This is not going to really elevate your natural testosterone levels, but it is going to keep you from going way down into the 0 range. Even more important, it's going to help increase your free testosterone level, which is important. Google that before you go toxic. And if you need information about the importance of higher free testosterone levels, there's a lot of stuff on Google that can answer that for you. And at 6 weeks out, I would skip at least 1 training session, if not 2. I would take a nap during that time. I would do massage, something completely relaxing during that time. Your body could be greatly overtrained, and it might not have anything to do with what you're putting into your body chemically. Maybe you need more food, sleep, rest. Maybe your brain is just fried and needs to relax for a day or 2 or 3. It's better to do it now than to wind up on the toxic train on contest day. And the last thing I would do if I was riding the toxic train and I was 6 weeks out is I would give serious consideration after my 7 to 10 to 14 days of taking nothing had finished. If your appetite starts to return and if you stop feeling toxic, I would consider cutting the doses in half of everything. I think deep down inside, we all know that feeling good the weeks leading up to the contest, having more food the weeks leading up to the contest, is going to be more productive and give you better results on contest day than having less food and more gear in your body. So if you're going toxic, those are the first 3 things I would do as soon as possible to get off the toxic train. Hope this made some sense, guys. We'll talk soon.